The conversations they don't get to hear. Good.
They're usually ones we would get in trouble for.
Oh, indeed. This one wasn't. It was just, normal. But anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a little trouble breathing tonight, so I'm having a cigarette. Jack, how you doing, my friend?
Tired. Been a long, busy fucking day. I was on the quarter earlier for about half the show because I was stupid late because of what I told you about off air. But that was a lot of fun. So go check out Frosted Glasses channel if you want to watch that. And he saved a Will Wheaton article for me.
Talk to the audience for just a second. I forgot to switch internets.
And if you didn't know, Will Wheaton's an idiot, and he still wears a mask. So not exactly a lovely person. I always thought he looked like he smelled like pee, and he has one of those faces that is probably better hidden behind a mask. So anyway, I don't like that guy.
Are you blocked by Will Wheaton?
Shockingly, I don't think so.
I am, and I don't even think it was for a shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, I've never said shut up, Wesley, but I have said things to him before. Well, I'll check because I don't remember if I'm blocked by him. I don't know. Is he still on Twitter?
Last I knew he was, but he's one of those whiners, so he probably went over to Mastodon where he can see kitty porn and shit.
Yeah, he's the type that runs away from everything. Oh no, I'm blocked.
Oh, yep. He finally got you.
Yeah, he's like right up there with Steve Shives for blocking.
Yeah,
except I actually would respect Steve Shives more than Will Wheaton, I think.
No, and here's where I'm gonna disagree with you there. With Steve Shives, I never said a word to him on Twitter and got blocked.
Yeah, I don't think I ever said anything to him either.
At least with Will Wheaton, I earned it in some manner.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
But Shives pretty much blocks everyone. Like, he's got some block bot that just blocks new accounts. Like, haha, fuck you, preemptive strike. But with Wheaton, he's such a whiny little bitch. Like, should have put a thing in. He can't take a fucking. He should have leaned into that meme and it wouldn't have become a thing.
No, he should have, and he just embraced it. He did the same thing that Shatner did. Shatner, for a long, long time, resented being on Star Trek, and he hated being known for it.
Yeah.
And when he finally embraces it, you actually see such a change in that man and the way that he's embraced by Hollywood and the fans and everything. Just embrace it. Just embrace it.
Yeah, and look at him now. Now he's beloved, whereas before he was seen as a snobbish dick.
Yes, exactly.
And he just started to relax somewhere along the line and took that stick out of his ass, and he seems a lot happier now.
Hey, Nuts, how you doing, sweetheart? Anyway, for the record, guys, I'm having trouble breathing. I'll be fine. It's not a big deal. But I was about to tell you, Jack, when I do have trouble breathing, I feel like I'm coming down with something. It's just getting congested in there. I feel better smoking because I can feel my breathing.
Oh.
And when you're having trouble breathing and have your entire life, it helps me. Now, should I be doing it? No. Is it good for me? No. Am I suggesting anybody else do it? No.
But man, you look so cool doing it.
It is how my brain works. Dude, I had such a great day. We went out with the girls today and just had a fun time. Okay. And then I came home and crashed, and my body's like, yeah, man, we're getting too old for this shit. But it sucks because everybody's going home tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I hate that.
You've had a couple days with them, right?
We have, yeah, and it's been a good couple days. So, Undoomed, my friend, how you doing? We're just shooting the shit tonight. I only have a couple of stories, really. You want to hang out? Hey, we're not doing anything. You want to hang out? You want to come give us content?
We're bored.
But anyway, let's get the two stories we have. There's really not a lot to even say about them. Some of the hostages have finally been released over there in Palestine. They released some women and some children. And unlike the Israeli prisoners that got released, when we say children, we actually mean children.
Yeah.
Little kids, rather than the teenage, well, let's just call them what they are, terrorists that are arrested by the Jews. But yeah, so they've released some of them. We haven't had any more rockets fired in the last couple of days, well, last couple of hours. So, I mean, progress?
Maybe. Real quick, thank you, Spartan John, for that freedom donation, 1776. Hey, Jack, sharing the love from working 5 shifts in 3 days.
Goodness.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I didn't really do anything for Thanksgiving. I hung out with my parents, and that was as exciting as I get anymore. So, yeah. So I guess it was a lot better than yours. 5 shifts in 3 days. Fuck that.
Thank you, Spartan John, for that freedom donation. Congratulations once again on Cran Baby's arrival. Hope your Thanksgiving was great. It was awesome, man. It was wonderful.
Yeah, this is the type of season that you're grateful for having family.
Mm-hmm.
And since most of mine are old and dying off, it's getting a little lonely out here. I gotta hurry up and wife some chick up.
Yeah, you need to do the boogie thing and turn a hoe into a housewife.
Frighten off a hooker from a profession.
In the other news we had today, Derek Chauvin has apparently been stabbed in prison.
Yeah, Fuki alerted me to this, and I hadn't seen it yet. I was on the corner, like we just wrapped up when I got the message. I was like, "Holy shit, Derek Chauvin got the shank."
Undoomed, my friend, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
wonderful, dude. Living the life. How was your Thanksgiving, man?
Oh, it was nice and calm, and we don't really do the turkey thing, so it's much easier for us.
Do you guys? Is it just you and the missus, or do you guys go to family?
No, it's just me and the missus.
Gotcha.
We try to do all the holidays as simple as possible. It's just a bunch of stress to me.
Yeah.
And the missus agrees, so we just try to have a really good time and just enjoy each other's company.
We do that, but we do it with the big meal on Thanksgiving because
but you got kids and stuff, so I mean that's different. Obviously, you have to make your kids have a good time and all that. So I get that.
I didn't do shit. Lady Monkey did it all. I just ate, so it wasn't real stressful for me.
I always try to go to an Asian restaurant and get laid because that's the time to meet some nice new Asians without all the competition. Because almost nobody's there except the other lonely losers, and most of them just sit there with their heads down, and you can hit on that waitress, and they're all super friendly because they're like, "Oh, hello, citizenship."
All right, dating tips from Jack.
Never, ever take dating advice from me. I am terrible at relationships.
No, hang on, guys. I gotta pop some. Some.
We're warding off Ethan Ralph.
Oh my god!
It's just Motrin. Nothing bad.
It's still
except for my stomach lining because I haven't eaten in 12 hours. But otherwise,
yeah, Motrin will help that.
It'll be fine.
Oh sure.
I hope it'll be better than Derek Chauvin. Real quick, just to touch on that. There's not a lot of details, guys. The prison's not even acknowledging that it was him that got stabbed. They did admit somebody got stabbed. They had moved him from basically solitary confinement into Gen Pop in a medium security prison, and weirdly, he got stabbed.
Yeah, it's almost like that's predictable.
That's almost predictable, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to get him shanked because he filed an appeal.
Yeah.
This was his little reminder that he's not allowed to do that.
Well, I mean, he would have gotten shanked at any point they'd gotten a chance to do it.
Yeah.
Which is why you should have stayed in protective custody. I mean, he's still an ex-cop.
I mean, that's kind of weird, though, isn't it? Because if you put someone in protective custody, they're basically in isolation, and that's considered a cruel and unusual punishment. So it's what do you do, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know that there's a good answer to that, right?
Yeah, because we normally just keep our really the craziest fucking serial killers and shit in isolation, right?
Well, I guess what we could do is ask him, right? Like, hey, would you prefer to be isolated or stabbed?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if they did that.
Oh, they absolutely didn't, because he was in a minimum security prison, and that's where they had him in the isolation. Then they moved him over to this medium security and just throw him into Gen Pop. And yeah, it didn't take long. We all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's
not rocket science.
Yeah, the only surprising thing to me is that he got shanked and he didn't get his throat slit. And I'm not sorry, YouTube, I'm not encouraging that. I'm just
No, of course not. But yeah, I guess they have to, they don't have access to knives and shit, so they have to use, toothbrushes and shit.
Oh, dude, I've heard of some horrible stuff in prisons where, like, seriously, almost decapitated people with their toothbrushes. Like, what kind of toothbrush are you giving these people? What is the blade made out of?
Well, you could probably get a toothbrush pretty.
I guess
they take apart the razors, the disposable razors, and
you
melt the end of your toothbrush and stick it in there, and it becomes a slashing weapon.
Yeah. I guess usually they just use it to shiv someone.
Yeah.
Jack, I called you Zach. Jack is full of all kinds of good advice today.
I worked in a juvenile residential facility.
Oh, yeah, true. Did you guys ever have a problem with that?
We only found a few weapons. Most of what we had at the one center was sex offenders.
Oh, right.
So it was a 46-bed facility, and like 43 of them were sex offenders. And like this one carjacker's like, "Why am I here?" I don't know, bait.
You made a wrong decision somewhere in life.
You made somebody mad, true. And they thought this pretty boy is going to get himself in trouble yet.
Yeah, so that's all there is to the news, guys, is that he was stabbed. And again, the prison officials still haven't confirmed it. Last I knew, his lawyers hadn't confirmed it either.
I did see somewhere that he's in stable condition, but that's probably all speculation.
I did see a lot of people on Twitter sort of saying that he was dead and dancing on his grave.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think that's. I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he is either, because that probably would have been announced.
Yeah.
Fairly certain the prisons have to announce that kind of stuff, or at least release it. In this case, because he's still a prisoner, they're like, yeah, we don't talk about how we treat prisoners. I bet you don't, fucker.
Yeah. Prison is not a good place to go, no matter what country you're in. It's a lot worse in other countries. Don't go to jail in Peru or Thailand or Vietnam.
Yeah, which is that country? Is that like Venezuela? No, it's Nicaragua or something that just they built this huge fucking nightmare prison, right?
Oh yeah, the island prison for gang members.
Yeah, where they just nobody gets out alive.
Ugh.
It's they have a lot of those in South America. They're pretty sketchy, but I think that one was in Nicaragua. But yeah, it's they got one specifically for gang members because they have such a problem with it down there. Yeah, fuck that. No, I don't want to go to jail. I saw too many episodes of Locked Up Abroad to ever want to get involved in crime overseas.
I've only seen one, and it was I think a Chinese prison, and there were like way too many people in their cells.
Yeah, right. They have a lot of population.
It looked like a rave.
Yeah, well, look, when you got a big population and you don't give a fuck about them, kettling them all into a little room doesn't matter to you. Like, I don't care about your.
Let me ask you guys. This is a theoretical question. This is more of a philosophy question, right?
Uh-oh.
I understand separating our criminals from the rest of society, But is it really a good idea to put all of our criminals together?
Right.
I got don't allow them to fight each other gladiatorily.
Well, then you got to put it on TV.
Right. Well, yeah, I would watch that too. I'm just going to be honest.
That's what we call revenue generation.
Yeah, it's the running man.
Yeah. Wooksy in chat says it isn't. Yeah, look, I understand because there's not another good way to do it, but you put all of the bad people together, many of whom are going to go back into society again.
Probably most of them at some point.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, let's get all these people with really bad ideas together.
Well, I mean,
they do call it a crime school for a reason.
True. Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that there should be like a dormitory setup where you have individual cells and they don't really have a lot of contact with each other. You could have like a common room where a pod of cells empty into a common area, but they never have contact with other pods. You know what I mean? If you've ever been in a communal, like a dormitory setup in college now, they have like 4 or 5 rooms that empty into a common area, but they would never leave that area except to go to the yard at specific times and never really interact with someone. But I would be what would they call an authoritarian about this, because then if you fuck up, you're going to the supermax, and then, or the scary hole.
You want the panopticon, don't you?
Yes, I do. I would be the worst possible person to put in charge of this. I would just toy with people's lives.
Shit, I'm so sorry. I was just reminded, since I have both of you here, this is actually a great question. Last night, I got a donation asking me a question I could not answer. Maybe you two can.
Okay.
What is the best horror movie most people have never heard of?
Best horror movie?
The Keep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't think many people have seen that one.
Never even heard of it. Yeah.
It's really underrated.
It's underrated. It's got some problems, but it's really nicely shot, and the atmosphere is just amazing.
Nicely shot reminds me of the other part of that question. I don't know if you can do this on Doom, but Jack, the best 9mm handgun.
I hate to say it, I really like the Glock. What's it, Gen 17?
You're reaching for it right now, aren't you?
What?
Sorry?
I said he's reaching for it right now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gen 4. Yeah, it's the 17 Glock. Gen 4.
Okay.
I'm not a big gun guy, but I would have to agree with that.
Me neither. I got this donation last night asking me these 2 questions in the same donation. I'm like, you really want Jack here for those? Because I don't watch a lot of outside the mainstream movies, especially anymore. Maybe when I was younger, but I just don't have time.
Right.
But Jack has no life and guns. So
true. I officially do not own firearms.
He doesn't. No. They all accidentally fell overboard in a fishing accident.
Yes, they fell off a bridge into the river while I was fishing for vagina.
I remember how sad you were that day.
It was tragic. It was one of the worst 10 minutes of my life.
He was out there on Martha's Vineyard with a cook from Obama's place.
It's true. It's true. We were both going swimming, and I couldn't find him after a while. I know it's an answer most people hate because there's a lot of Glock haters, but I really liked my Steyr. That was a beautiful gun. Because I had a 45 and a 9mm from them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd like to have an M134, but that's just me.
You should get one.
Yeah, sure, that'll happen.
Well, not with that attitude. You just gotta know the right shady people. I hear. You just walk into a store and say, "Give me this," and they're like, "Okay." That's how people tell me guns are bought.
Dude, I've seen it on the news. You just walk into a Walmart, tell them the gun you want, and they'll just give it to you. You don't even got to buy it anymore.
Yeah, they just hand it to you. They're like, "Here you go."
Yeah, especially a 134. Jesus.
Yeah, never let your dreams die, Undoomed. That's the real lesson here.
Speaking of not letting your dreams die, somebody asked if you're the person who used to make videos back in 2015. He never stopped making videos. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, and I started in 2000. In 2015, I had like 100 subscribers. So I guess you're real old school then.
Real old school, yeah.
Yeah.
Your last video, the one with the chick talking about mutilating children.
Mm-hmm.
How did you not swear more in that video?
I don't know. I mean, I probably figured I was going to get demonetized or something for it, so I try to keep it a little bit clean.
For the record, I once did a test with videos, and I did not swear at all in one video. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, I have a video out there, guys, where I did not swear. It got demonetized. The next one, I was swearing like a sailor. It got monetized.
Okay.
Cannot explain why.
It's kind of like roulette.
I think we have a theory that there's somebody who works at YouTube, and this was when Susan was still there, and that they just really hated Susan. So when nasty stuff would come up, they just approve it for, to get at her. Nothing else makes sense.
Well, I mean, there was this big YouTuber. I can't remember who it was, but someone with like 1 million subscribers at least, who said like, well, every time I upload a video, I upload 10 copies of it, and I appeal every one of them, and one of them will get
monetized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every stream I do gets reviewed by somebody, and one of those that got reviewed and got a green circle is the one that I got my first actual content strike for, because they came back like a month later, like, yeah, you can't say that. Yeah.
What did you say?
It was something about the election.
Oh, okay.
I probably said
so you got a strike for something that is retroactively now allowed?
Yes. Wait, for the record, it was allowed at the time, and then they did hey, you can't talk about, questioning elections, and now they've gone, okay, now you can question them. So I still have a strike. It's my warning strike, which never goes away. Right. I have it for something that was okay at the time and is okay now. But for they decided in that in the interim you couldn't say it, and they retroactively got in trouble.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube. I love working here. Do you know who Willie Mack is on Doomed?
Not off the top of my head.
You know who Hassan Piker is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Willie Mack is a creator who he mostly covers drama kind of stuff, and he's made 5 videos now about Hassan Piker. He made 2 of them a year ago, and then 3 of them have come up recently. He made 2, and then he made 1, and then he made a response to all the Hassan fans who were like, you're taking him out of context, showing that he wasn't taking him out of context. And then he had an actual discussion with Hassan Piker, where watching that stream I love drama, but that one was annoying because Hassan just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Okay.
He just would not let Willie answer questions or even ask proper questions. Right. Well, Willie was just on a stream. What's the guy's name? Tom Foolery, I think, is a channel, guys, if you're interested in it. And again, another one of these fans comes up, and he's arguing with Willie because Willie said that Hassan was kind of racist. There's a black creator named Jidon, I think. John Dion. J Dion. Fuck, I can never say the guy's name. But anyway,
you tried, you'll get it eventually.
Eventually, fuck. I was close. He's a nice enough guy. I don't think he'd be bad.
I think Dijon is a mustard.
Yeah, something like that. And it always fucks me up. But he went to this. He went to this town that's been labeled the most racist town in America, and there was a video done about this town where this white guy goes there, and all he hears is all this racist stuff. So as a black man, he goes to this town to see if it's that racist.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have any problems. And he's actually told, no, what you're thinking about is a town about 20 miles away where the Klan actually is.
Right.
He goes, not here, over there. But when Hassan watches this video, because of course he did, because he doesn't do his own content, he said that he was whitewashing it. He's whitewashing it for his white audience.
Okay.
And so Willie goes, that's him calling him an Uncle Tom.
Right.
And this Hassan fan is like, no, all he's saying is he's making it okay for his white audience. And I had this moment of clarity, like, oh fuck, that's how Hassan is so big. His audience actually is that dumb.
Yeah, they don't know that that's the same thing.
Well, the thing is, they actually had a discussion about what an Uncle Tom is, and the guy agreed that's what an Uncle Tom is. But then went on to argue, no. All he's saying, like, you can't be that stupid. How do you remember to breathe in and out? It's like, I don't know if you follow the Krasensteins. They're some of my favorite people on Twitter.
Well, they follow me.
You're followed by the Krasensteins?
I have no idea why.
Wow. They occasionally respond to me on Twitter and then they go 6 months without talking to me again. But Ed Krasenstein put out today, fact, males can have babies. And he put up a picture of seahorses.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
No. When we're talking about the men can have babies, that's the nonsense we're hearing about non-binary and all that crap. And pointing to seahorses doesn't make your argument.
No, but he's such a blatant interaction farmer.
Oh God,
he says anything. I mean, sometimes he will say kind of base things just to piss off the left because he's like, oh, I can get some interaction there, and I'm going to get some interaction with the right now, so I'm going to piss those guys off. And he's just a whore.
Since they've been back on Twitter, they've been cultivating their presence there.
They're making bank.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you they're getting like so much interaction on all their tweets because they're always saying the most outrageous things.
If you go back to before they got kicked off, which you can still see their tweets, their interaction for 500,000, I think one of them had 600,000, the other one had 500,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
They would get less interaction than I do. And I have 6,000 followers there. Because
amazing.
what they did is the sub for sub thing, where if somebody subbed to them, they would sub, and that way they collected a whole bunch, but nobody ever actually, unless it was me making fun of them, nobody paid attention to them.
No, I mean, the accounts that do that, they never get any interaction for whatever reason.
Yeah, and since they've been back, I mean, there are several posts I can tell you for a fact were written by ChatGPT.
Weren't they starting out as like a Justin Bieber fan channel too?
One of them was, and it's been reported that they actually bought that account.
Okay.
Ed's account, I believe it is the one that used to be a Justin Bieber fan account. Yeah, and that's who people are. These are also two guys who gave the federal government $500,000, $450,000. Because they were running a website that was featuring ads that would literally steal your information. It's just steal right from your bank account.
Monkey. Nope, they gave it for no reason at all.
No reason at all. No.
They got no trouble whatsoever in their background. Just ask them.
No, they did it. I love it because after they come back to Twitter, they finally address this in full. And they put out this statement that the reason that they did that and gave $500,000 to the government was because if they ended up having to go to trial and prove their innocence, it would have cost so much more. Like,
okay,
maybe, I guess, but these
$450,000,
$450,000, yeah,
yeah.
But these same
just
two
preemptively pay that shit, whatever.
These same two
so,
idiots,
like I said, they're making bank.
Anybody who takes a plea deal that's like related to Trump at all, see, that proves they're guilty. Like, does it? Because didn't you guys give $450,000 just to make shit go away?
Mm-hmm.
Susan, or what's her name? Is it Susan Powell, the one that worked for Trump? Or sorry, never worked for Trump, but worked for the Trump. Sidney Powell, thank you.
I'm sorry, I gotta say that right. Sydney.
She she took a plea deal because she gets a slap on the hand and it all goes away. Does it mean she was actually guilty? She was probably guilty of some of the stuff in there, especially the stolen or the access to the machines, because she was directly implicated in that. But you could either go spend a whole bunch of money and possibly go to jail, or they're going to give you probation.
Right.
I would take the probation probably.
Yeah.
You'd almost have to be an idiot, and it's the way the system is set up, and it is a corrupt system. It shouldn't be that way.
That's true.
But they made it that way so that, yeah, it's better to just plead out, and then the prosecutor gets to claim he got this. Look at all that I've done. Elect me to be mayor so I can fuck up your town.
Yeah, that's fucking corrupt. I mean, either it's a crime or it's not.
Yes.
And if it's worth 10 years in jail, then how come you can just make probation all of a sudden? It's like, what?
Well, you have these things where like a judge has mandatory sentencing, but as long as you don't get to the sentencing part, the prosecutor can be like, how about we just give him a 5 years probation?
Yeah, but I mean, if the crime was enough to warrant you seeking 10 years or whatever, that's weird. How can it just go away then? Like, that's because corrupt.
The system is corrupt as shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll be fixed in my lifetime. Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No.
Shit. The other day on Doomed, we read about the FBI stopping an investigation into a kitty diddler so that they could focus on January 6th. That kitty diddler was just arrested. Yeah. That kitty diddler was just arrested for molesting a 10-year-old boy.
That's priorities, man.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the system.
I mean, if the system should do anything, it's take care of the kitty diddlers.
Yeah, take care of the children, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's even worse than murdering someone.
Yes,
just
because
take care of the kitty diddlers first.
Yeah, you just ruined that poor kid's whole life.
Yeah.
That shit's going to be with him till he dies. Yeah, they put it off so that they could go pay attention to January 6th because they didn't have enough people on it. There was one guy investigating this. He had conversations with this kitty diddler where the kitty diddler said, I can't wait to have sex with your child. And so they're talking about a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, this isn't so important right now. We got to go look at these people who walked through the Capitol.
They were walking menacingly.
They were.
Real quick.
It was fucking breaking and entering.
Yes.
For fuck's sake.
At worst.
They should be punished for that. Of course, you can't just break into a building, but that's pretty much all it was. It's not like if you it's not capturing the flag. Like if you get the building, you become president or something. Like,
oh, maybe that's it. Maybe these people have played too many video games and thought that's what happens.
Yeah, they had to hold it for like 10 minutes.
Gotta hold it.
It turns a color, and then their teams. That's how that works now.
Yes. And there's
they could have held that building for months, and the government would just convene somewhere else.
Yeah,
they've done it before.
Yeah, it's not like that's impossible. I mean, they can do that in a gymnasium.
They've even, Washington is obviously not even the first capital.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure they have that secret one under the Denver airport they could use.
Yeah, but none of these politicians actually want to go to Philadelphia these days.
No.
Well, they got that that hotel in somewhere in Virginia. It's like a resort hotel that was doubled as a bomb shelter for the representatives.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that on like what's that show called? Mysteries of the Abandoned.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Don Wildman hosted it, but it's an awesome place. It looked cool. That it's a perfect excuse to go there and do it. Be like, can we go to the secret bunker and have this?
Yeah, I mean that'd be a fun outing.
They didn't even have to do that because they were able to finish the business that fucking day.
Yeah.
Which just shows you how lazy Americans are. They can't even commit to holding a building. Like, so I already saw the cool stuff. Let's go.
Well, as interesting as that building may be, and like I said, I would love to go through there just once in my life and walk through it. There's not much there. It's a giant building that has some of our ancestral documents in it that is there for the public, and that's it.
It's an office building. It's not that exciting.
Yeah. No.
Let me grab this donation here. Thank you, Evolved Potato. I really hate when people talking about seahorses like that. The male seahorse doesn't have babies.
No.
Females lay the eggs, and the male carries them around in a pouch. Oh, it's like carrying her purse. The male will just carry them around and protects them.
Yes, he's cucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the male seahorse is just the equivalent of a man sitting holding the purse outside of a store.
Yeah, it's kind of like a kangaroo.
Mm-hmm. And they play it up this way. And even if they did, I do have this challenge to Brian. If the male seahorse can have the babies, and that proves that that's a real thing, I want to see you breathe water.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's just engagement farming.
Yeah, and gets to get the right people riled up for a little while.
Yeah.
People will be arguing with that retard for a week about this. He'll say a lot of stupid shit in the meantime. So,
yeah, but he'll make bank.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Because all you got is it's the engagement that matters over there.
Yeah. That's a good time to remind everybody. We say stupid shit all the time. If you're enjoying the show, hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't, and you can throw us some money at the links in the description and occasionally go through chat.
Yeah, and go ratio Monk so he can become monetized.
Yeah, ratio the shit out of me.
Yeah, just fucking ratio the shit out of him.
No, you know what? I don't get ratioed. I get very determined idiots. Like there'll be 4 or 5 of them, and they're just determined.
Yeah, but that won't get you monetized.
I know, but that's what determined? I get. That's my lot in life.
You say determined, I say obsessively stupid.
I was trying to be charitable.
Don't be charitable to those halfwits. Who was it you were arguing with either earlier today or yesterday that was saying like something absolutely bonkers? I don't remember what it was because I try not to remember these people.
That had to be yesterday's argument, and I don't even remember what it was now.
Oh, it was so fucking dumb.
You know, the worst of them.
What was that?
I don't even remember. I have these arguments all the time. The worst one that I remember.
Yeah, you love drama.
I like the arguing.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I do, but it's just when I'm bored.
The Trump and DeSantis people right now are so fucking entrenched in their little tribes. And I don't mind. Hey, fuck it. You guys argue with each other. But if I see them lie about each other, which they do, they'll lie about the other candidate. And I can't help myself. And I just got to point it out. And then suddenly, oh, you're a DeSantis supporter. And the next day, you're a Trump supporter. And like, I don't support either of them.
Yeah.
You're just a fucking liar. Stop lying. Why is that so hard?
I don't know. It's tribalism is such a insidious thing. You know what I mean? It's so weird to see people who were friends just a couple of months ago going at each other, and then they're going to have to make up at some point because one of them is going to become the candidate, and they probably will. Then it'd be just bygones, and I think that's weird.
Dangerous asked me if it was Christopher David about Rittenhouse. No, I just responded to that retard. Because Rittenhouse has been blowing up for 2 reasons. He had his book come out, and his lawyer went on I forget, Law and Order, I think it was, that channel, Order and Law, whatever it is, and mentioned
Law and Crime or something.
Law and Crime, and mentioned that Rittenhouse doesn't have a lot of money. And so everybody's out there, oh, he's so poor, he shouldn't have murdered somebody. But the Christopher David idiot, he actually brought up the crossing state lines and his mama buying him a gun.
Mm-hmm.
His mom didn't buy the gun.
Sorry?
I said his mom didn't buy the gun. Sorry, I had a donation come through. I usually dip when that happens. But yeah, his mom didn't buy the gun. His mommy didn't drive him across state lines to go over there and kill people. It's just all idiot shit that is just being repeated, that has been debunked so many times.
Well, you know, if you repeat a lie enough, it'll become the truth.
Indeed. And boy, do we run into that shit a lot. You know, males can have babies. Like, thank you for that feminist $12. Tribalism of any kind other than Americanism is cancer. How dare you? I am very tribalistic when it comes to my Chargers. That's not true. I say they're going to lose all the time, which I guess is not really tribalistic.
You mean your phone charger? No,
the formerly San Diego, now Los Angeles Chargers football team.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of figured, but
the charger you mentioned actually works where the team doesn't. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Dark says political tribalism. Yeah, no, and God, it's something that in this sphere we deal with all the time. And
especially now with the DeSantis, Vivek, and how do you pronounce Vivek? Is it Vivek?
Vivek.
Yep. Right. I've never heard him say his name.
That's the only reason I know how to pronounce it, because he'll tell people it's like cake, so it's Vivek.
I like cake.
Right.
I do like cake.
Yeah, now I remember it. That's a good rule. I'll remember
that should be his slogan. It's like cake, Vivek.
Yeah. Right. And then have it on a big cake, and people be like, "I like cake."
Make one of those nice slogans on a like a campaign logo that they all have.
Yes. You know how fat America is? We would eat that up literally.
You're making me hungry, and I have pizza in front of me. So
I think can I just say this? You're probably gonna murder me, but I think Donald Trump is a pussy for not doing the debates.
I have said that.
Oh, you've said that. Okay.
You and I agree on that. Yes, the audience won't. They will be mad at us for that.
I'm fucking pissed off that he won't get his fat ass over to the fucking debate stage.
100%.
And he's got no social media presence. Like, I've not seen anything from Donald Trump in fucking months and months. How does he expect to win?
His social media presence is going over to Truth Social and saying stuff, and then people putting it on Twitter and talking about it.
But I never see anything from him.
Oh, I see quite a bit. They get mad at everything he says. What was the last one that he said that the people that have been going after him, basically he said that they will be prosecuting them for malicious prosecutions, and he's going to go after his political enemies.
Oh, he's going to weed out the commies, the fascists. And,
yes.
Oh, and he's going to deport all the illegals.
Why can't he just fucking get on Twitter? I have not seen anything of this.
That is a pride thing right now, because he committed to Truth Social, and Truth Social, which is losing money hand over fist. What was it? $3 billion in their last quarter, I think it was.
Well,
billion?
Doesn't he have a contract with them to not?
How can you lose billions with a website?
Maybe it was just doing. Maybe it was. Oh, it was 31 million. I'm sorry, it was not 3 billion. 31 million, because he's suing people right now for news places for saying that it was 78 million.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're the 3 billion is a whole different thing. But so
that sounds like a government operation,
right? We did just have the Pentagon say that they can't account for, what was it, $3 trillion worth of stuff. That doesn't mean they don't have it, guys. If you read the stories on it, what it actually means is they're supposed to audit everything, and only about half of their audits came back approved, and the other ones were so bad they couldn't approve them. So there's missing $3 trillion worth of stuff.
Yeah, but when I miss $4, the IRS is gonna fuck me.
Oh yeah,
you go to prison.
Yeah, and you're gonna
no one's gonna have any consequences because of this.
No, of course not. No, you know what they said? Well, next year they're gonna try to do better.
Yeah.
Like, well, awesome. I appreciate you guys putting in the work. Literally, all we're talking about is them going around going, All right, there's our tank, there's our trucks, there's our planes. All they got to do is account for them having it.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like work.
Do you know how many government administrators there are in the military who could, that's literally their job, is to do the accounting stuff?
Oh, you expect them to do their job? Look, you bigot. Not everybody's good at white people math.
That's true. It's colonialized. Oh man. Am I the only one shocked with where we are in society, that there's not more of what we used to call the anti-SJW creators out there?
Not as much money in it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we lost. That's a sad
we gave
truth.
up.
No, I mean it's you can't fucking beat them when you got Google against you.
And that's fair. But I
the largest corporation on the planet, if they want you to shut up, you're shutting up. I would love to be like some sort of suicide bomber on this, but I kind of like having a channel.
No, and I understand that. I do. The reason I say we gave up is because before any of that happened, if you go back to 2016, Donald Trump wins the election.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ton of people who are like, we won. They're like, but it's not over. And they all were like, no, it's done. It's done. We won. We beat the SJW crowd. You really didn't.
We didn't. No, we didn't.
And so you had a whole bunch of that.
Everything is much, much worse now than it was in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much, much worse.
All those bedroom feminists now have jobs.
Back then it was a joke, like pronouns, lol, and now like every fucking politician has it. Just now I saw an article where they were changing the pronouns of a Roman emperor.
Yes.
You see that?
Marcus Aurelius. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a she now.
The emperor from Gladiator, guys. That's the one that's now a she.
Yeah. I mean, it's never been worse than it is now.
Well, the argument back then was always that, it's just college kids, but they all left and went to go get jobs, and many of them are in our government now.
But that's not the main problem. The main problem is that in the old days, adults used to be like, okay, they're punks, whatever, they'll grow out of it. But now it's like, well, maybe I should be a punk too. That'll get the kids all riled up. So they don't have that thing that adults have had since the beginning of time. Like, they understand that kids are kids, they have their phase, and then they become adults, right?
Yeah. We don't do that anymore because we don't expect people to become adults.
No, instead we expect adults to become kids.
Well, we think kids are the smartest people out there.
Especially Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, she's one of the examples. I mean, when she was having her rise to fame, there were a ton of people like, she's so much smarter than me. Like, yes, she is. And that's not saying she's smart. It's just you put the bar that fucking low.
Yeah. If you say so, then she probably is smarter than you.
Yeah. And there's a whole push to get voting down to 16 because kids are so smart. 16-year-olds are dumb.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily their fault. They're still learning. They're still growing.
It's not their fault. It's just a normal process. And we used to understand this. Like,
we did, yeah.
Yeah, we understood that kids are kids and they're going to have their phase. They're going to be punks or heavy metal rockers or fucking emo or whatever. And then they're going to grow out of it.
We used to understand that kids had imagination, and sometimes Timmy wanted to pretend that he was Jenny, but you didn't then cut off his wiener when he's 6.
Yeah, did you see that? You've seen that clip, right? Where the guy offers like a 10-year-old, hey, you can have $10,000 or you can have cookies. What do you want?
I have not seen that. No. Went for cookies, didn't he?
He went for cookies.
Of course he did.
Because cookies are instant gratification. Kids don't understand. Like, what are you doing? You could have $10,000. You could buy like 10,000 cookies.
Yeah, but there's a cookie right here.
There's a cookie right here, and they want to allow these kids to cut off their wieners. Okay.
I don't understand how we got there. I mean, I've seen the progression. As a functional human, I don't understand how other seemingly functional humans look at this stuff and go, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I cannot understand how we got here. I cannot understand that it got this bad, where it's actually frowned upon to not accept kids being mutilated.
We've lost our backbone. People used to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. And they don't do that anymore.
It used to be when if you're fucking with kids, and I'm not just saying it literally, but also metaphorically, that used to piss people off to no end.
Yes.
And we had, like you said, we had a backbone, but we've lost that, man.
I guess, Irish are finding theirs. But
oh my, yeah, that's going on.
We're not finding ours just yet.
Okay, but that's also kind of stupid because they're doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
As the BLM riots and all that. They're just going out there burning shit down.
But they've seen that it works and there's no consequence for it. And they don't have any other way to express themselves. How many young people can express themselves in healthy ways these days? It's very, very difficult to find somebody under 30 that can articulate a point and argue it well. Instead, their first response is screaming, shouting, shoving, and then it escalates from there because that's the modeling that we've seen as the acceptable social response to a problem. The BLM riots were perfect examples of that. What happens when you don't get your way and you're not liking it? You just go tear up the neighborhood.
Yeah, but I think we should be we shouldn't be hypocritical. We shouldn't just say that it's okay because it's a cause that is more just according to our political beliefs.
I completely agree, but that's what they've seen getting the results. That's what they've seen getting the press and getting coverage and being socially acceptable. You don't have people sitting down and having a rational dialogue. You have a screech festivals where people just scream shame, 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 and have struggle sessions. And it's not surprising that type of response would happen in the other direction because it's good enough for them. It's good enough for me nonsense.
Yeah, so, of course, the pendulum swings back and all that.
Yeah, and that's how you end up with like the French Revolution. So
that is a big pendulum.
Well,
called a guillotine.
Yeah, it's one of them pointy ones that make people lose their minds, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. No, this was something we talked about going into the January 6th when it's, hey, come to this thing. It's like there were so many people that I saw on the right, like, hey, this is how the left acts. I'm like, but you decried it when the left did it. Why would you want to act like that?
Right.
Like you said this was bad. Well, they got away with this is how, but yeah, that you still have to be better than that because all you're doing now is being them. And like you said,
it's not about getting away with it.
Yeah, you're justifying horrible actions because this time you think it's a good cause.
Yeah.
No. My mind doesn't work that way. I have principles, not well, the other guy got away with it. My mom taught me that with my, brothers. He got to do it. Well, this is why. He's older than you. Oh.
Right.
It's a very childish way of thinking.
Yeah, but look at our educational systems around the world and how they're so politicized and watered down. Shit, in Oregon, you don't even have to have the ability to read and write to graduate anymore.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they passed a law because it was well, I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it's basically they're decolonizing the education system, and they think it's kind of racist standards.
How is it not racist to expect black people to not read?
I find it best not to put a lot of logic into this.
No,
because that's what they're saying.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely what they're saying.
Yeah,
it's their culture. That's the terminology that's used. You have to understand their culture, and if not reading is how they do it, well, that's their culture.
Yeah, but you can't even survive in society today without reading. I mean, everything is computerized.
I talked about this, I think, last night. This kind of thinking is racist as fuck in the name of being as progressive as possible. Like,
yes, I mean it's racism disguised as anti-racism.
Yes, exactly. And if you point that out, well, you're the racist. You can call me a racist all you want, but I think black people can learn to read.
Yeah, of course. And I think they can get an ID. I think there's like, how can you even exist if you're not like a total outlaw that never interacts with anything? How can you exist without an ID? You can't get you can't rent anything. You can't get a bank account. You can't get a phone. I mean, everything is fucked if you don't have a ID, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they knew the whole ID thing was bullshit from the beginning, but it plays well in the press.
I don't understand how we can play well. It is racist.
Because people are closet racists that don't want to admit it because they're so progressive. They have convinced themselves that white man's burden is exactly the way to go to try and lift up black people.
Right. So white people have to save the black people.
Yes.
But white people are also the devil. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
they're using their power.
With the way racism has been framed these days, racism is no longer, hey, I think I'm better than you because of my race. Racism is literally, you were born white, you have to be racist. I mean, Ibram X. Kendi's whole argument is, if you don't admit you're racist, then you're racist.
Yeah, but that's
a catch-22.
That's a catch-22. Yeah,
hey, does your mom know you're gay? Is what it is, and it's asinine that people went, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
I dropped a link to the article a little bit ago in chat, but this is from Oregon Live. So the headline is Oregon high school students won't need to prove basic mastery of reading, writing, or math to graduate from high school until at least 2029. And I've got a quote here from one of the state board members that voted for this stuff. We haven't suspended any sort of assessments. The only thing we're suspending is the inappropriate use of how those assessments were being used. I don't think that really is in the best interest of Oregon students.
What?
Yeah, it's a circular, nonsensical.
So you're just going to try to make your population as dumb as possible?
Well, as the article goes on, after board outreach to families, educators, and students and employers with a particular focus on people of color, the Oregon Department of Education recommended new graduation recommendations about a year ago. And it's been fought through the Oregon assessments for a while now. They were supposed to vote on this in September, and instead it got delayed till October again. But yeah, one of those was to scrap requirements to show mastery of reading, writing, and math. State lawmakers have not acted on that recommendation, and the department in the meantime asked the state board to continue its pause through at least 2027, 2028. They did this big vote thing on it. So yeah, it's been a point of contention, and it's really unpopular with the voters apparently, because they said it devalues the diplomas because now they think everybody's stupid. I'm like, yeah, everybody is stupid apparently because you can't read or write.
What's the point of the diploma then?
It's
so they can say they
feel better.
So they can say they graduated high school. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I mean, if it doesn't mean anything, then why even go to high school? You can just show up there a couple of days and go like, "Yeah, give me my diploma."
Yeah, it's a participation
Whatever.
award now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people that were against it were saying, like, look, they're just, instead of fixing the education system, you're just dropping standards. So you're not actually fixing anything.
Yeah.
And their response to that's been basically like, so?
That has been a thing in education, fuck, at least since the 80s. I remember the first time I heard California was giving half credit to students who did math problems as long as they wrote the problem down right. Like that's meaningless.
Yeah. And math is a beautiful thing because there's always a right answer.
Yes. Math is logical. There's an answer to it.
Yeah.
And the idea that, oh, well, little Timmy there didn't get the right answer and it would feel bad for him to fail. Like, well, little Timmy needs to try harder.
Yeah. I mean, I understand if you're like doing English or something and you're writing an essay, it's kind of like, okay, it's sort of a matter of taste, maybe, if it's good or not, but math is right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And when they come after things like STEM and try to, remember when they tried to make STEM STEAM? They were going to add the arts to STEM. Like, no.
I don't remember. I never heard that.
Really? Oh, yeah. That was going around for quite a while, maybe a year or two back now.
So dumb.
They wanted to add it because
it's fucking also retarded.
No, it's also science, don't you know?
No,
it's science.
It's not. No,
because STEM.
Oh, because the Academy has arts and sciences in it.
The Academy of Arts and Sciences, yeah. And the whole thing was that they were going to add A to it and make it a STEAM instead. That way, all those joke degrees people get actually would mean something.
No, they wouldn't.
No. I have a liberal arts degree. Well, good job on paying for nonsense.
Yeah, or communications degree.
Yeah. And again, this doesn't mean, for those of you out there who haven't, it doesn't mean that your degree is completely worthless. There's just a lot of them that classify as arts that are completely fucking worthless.
Let's face it, most of them are worthless.
Most of them, yeah. Well, I mean, you can use it to get a job in certain areas.
I mean, if you go to a real art school and you learn how to draw or maybe like do Unreal to make a game or something useful, that's great.
I want to say hi to my friend Laura, who got a music degree.
Well, if you have a music degree that actually teaches you how to write songs and all that, that's great. But the useless thing is when they just sit around and analyze stuff, like art analysis. The fuck is that? Who cares? Right? Who needs a degree in that?
Art analysis, that you like, hey, we're going to analyze this very subjective thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll give you a degree for it.
Yeah.
I took an art history class once and it was pretty much exactly that.
That's what it is.
It's useless.
Meanwhile, STEM is, we put a lot of faith in STEM because theoretically it's all stuff that's tangible. It's engineering, science, math, and what's the T? Technology.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things that we look to like, hey, build that bridge for us. We don't care how pretty the bridge is as long as the damn thing doesn't fall down when I'm driving over it.
Yeah.
But all of these people are getting their liberal arts degrees and shit like honky studies or whatever the hell it is. These studies that are crap. They're like, but you guys are keeping us out of STEM and you're not looking at us the same way. It's like, because you're an idiot. You spent $100,000 on nothing. You could have went into STEM, but you're not that smart.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give you a pat on the back because you went and finger painted for 4 fucking years. No, I was in theater. I love theater. I do. But your degree in theater doesn't mean fuck to me.
Unless you get a Hollywood job, I guess.
Even then, I'm not quite sure, like Juilliard trained actor. I'm not sure how much that means when there's so many where like I came off the street.
Yeah, there are so many of those. So I have no idea either if that really works.
Nobody just walks in off the street to an engineering firm and becomes an engineer. You know what I mean?
No,
exactly.
You have to have that education.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a Weinstein entry method for engineering?
A Weinstein? I didn't get the joke there.
Can you just blow some old fat dude and get an engineering
job? No.
No.
I mean, I suppose you could, but that company wouldn't last very long.
Everything would fall down.
Yeah. The whole edition of if you've never seen it, you should look it up on Doom. That shit's funny as hell. Because these people are very mad that they're not seen in the same light as people with STEM degrees. It's like, you work in human resources. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you think.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many useless degrees. I don't think we should have all those degrees.
No, they're meaningless.
Like, what is the point of all these weird degrees? What do they do?
They make the university a pile of money. That's what they do.
Yes, of course. That's it. But I mean, apart from that, what do these people expect to work with?
They're going into human resources, man.
Yeah, they expect to work in delusion land. That's where they expect to work.
I mean, if you're like a women's study major, whatever, like, where do you expect to work?
DEI department.
Sorry?
No. See, when we were first doing this, you said 2015 is when you started. I started 2016. We used to joke about, where are you going to get one of those jobs? But they have them now. They have the DEI departments of places. You have your human resources, of course. You have your
but their education is out of date now because they took women's studies and now it's all about African studies.
As long as you have a studies degree, you can get in.
When is there going to be a non-binary department?
You just wait.
There's already some.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is. I just really wanted to make that joke while it was still kind of timely.
Here's the best part of it, and this is true. You have companies that solely exist to go into other companies to set up things like DEI departments.
Yeah, it's sad.
And I still think we should switch the I and the E.
I agree 100%.
Because that's what your company's going to do.
Yeah.
Now, on the plus side, just to remind people, a lot of DEI departments are going away. There have been some court cases that are like, hey, you guys are being discriminatory. You need to knock that shit off.
Yeah, what was that? There was like some big thing yesterday or something, right?
Oh, was there? I have not been online very much the last few days.
Okay. Yeah, that was, I can't remember what it was. It was some sort of, I don't know. Can't remember. I just remember it was a DEI.
When there was a case, I forget when it came down. It was maybe a month or two ago. We talked about it here, where the ruling basically is that you're violating the equal opportunity laws by being fucking racist or sexist. Right. And so you have a lot of companies right now that are like, we don't need a DEI department anymore. They still have their HR and other diversity departments, but specifically diversity, equity, and inclusion, they're getting rid of them because, one, it's a waste of money, and two, it just gets them sued a lot.
That's a good thing though, because they need to get sued for it.
Yes,
because the investment bankers, they're punishing companies for not having it.
Yes, true.
So there needs to be like some downside to it. Otherwise, they're just gonna do it.
Yeah, I maintain that if I am two-spirit, I should get 2 paychecks because I'm doing twice as much work.
That's true. You actually should.
Yeah.
What if you have multiple personalities? What do they call that now?
Dissociative identity disorder.
Yes, dissociative or identity disorder. If you have,
I don't think that's real though.
It's not real. Have you ever watched those people in Doomed?
What do you mean?
They have Twitch channels for these.
They have Twitter.
Or, do you mean the fake
TikTok?
ones?
Yeah, no, they're all fake.
Yeah.
There are people with actual multiple personality disorders, but they're not what they're talking about.
No,
those people have real problems.
This shit was made up on Tumblr.
And they don't actually have multiple personalities.
No.
So they have some other sort of
attention
issue.
They have attention. I need attention. That's literally all. We saw one woman, and this is a real thing, where she has a male in her. What do they call it? Weirdo cast of characters. Who alters. Thank you. That's it. Her alter is a male. She has 2 male alters, and for them, she was going to get her boobs cut off.
Yeah, because when they're fronting, they feel gender dysphoria.
Okay, you have actual psychological.
Remember when that was a hip hop term?
That used to mean being fake. That's what fronting is. Why you front?
Yeah.
But now it's. I mean, it's still being fake. But this is something. Dissociative identity disorder, DID, not a real psychological thing. That's not in any of the textbooks. It's not in any of the literature. This was literally made up online. And
I mean, it used to be, right? It's just that they figured out, oh, those guys are just fucking assholes. Okay.
What we have, that specific term, it's just like neurodivergent. That's not a real fucking thing.
Right. But I mean, the entire concept of it used to be like a huge thing in psychology. And then they figured out, they're just
if you're talking assholes. About multiple personality disorders, what you're talking about. And it got really
pretty
big.
Much, they've pretty much gotten over that thing in psychology as well. Like,
because it got really big with the book and movie Sybil about a woman who had multiple personality. But the actual cases of it, I mean, you're more likely to find a man who lactates.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the people that actually have.
I don't think there are people who actually have it because I think it's probably something else causing that.
Yeah, it's a shattered psyche, different aspects of your personality. Like your rage is one thing and your kindness is another, and they're treated like different personalities. That's a thing crazy people have. Like people that can't function in society. Severely mentally ill people. And they've backtracked a lot on it, but it's still in the books somewhere. It's just not what these people are doing.
Mighty Balzac says there's no way a man would get perfectly good boobs removed. Here's how I know that bitch was faking.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
If you put a man into a woman's body, he's going to masturbate constantly.
Yeah, he's going to be a chronic masturbator.
He's going to abuse that thing.
He's not going to leave the house.
I'm a boy now. Oh God, I love watching them because they're so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're over the top, and they build up little quirks which end up becoming like a real tick.
Yes.
So they'll like blink their eyes or raise their lip a little bit, and that's how you know they're switching personalities.
Yes,
they end up developing an actual tick.
Some of them do it on command, which with multiple personalities is not a thing.
Yeah.
Even in the Sybil thing, it's not a thing. There's not a okay. Hang on, let me go get John. That's not how it works.
No.
But they're so into it, and it is so over the top. It's wonderful. I hope TikTok never goes away.
I mean, it's not possible to have multiple personalities in the way they think.
No, because they're looking at like TV shows that do it.
Dude, Undoomed. One of these people told us that they had thousands of multiple personalities, and they hadn't even met them all yet. I'm like, then how do you know they're there?
I've seen that episode. That was on Stargate. That happened on Stargate. Yeah. There's an episode of Stargate. They get downloaded. They get thousands of people downloaded into their head.
Oh, there you go. That's what happened.
It was a great gig for the actors because they got to really take it all the way out there with their acting chops, right? So that's
Indeed.
good.
I always like the shows where, in Mr. Hugh, I saw that. I'll get to in just a second. I always like the episodes of different shows where there's one at Third Rock from the Sun where Dick and Sally trade bodies, and so you see the actors acting as the other person.
Oh yeah, that's a Stargate episode too.
I fucking love those because you really get to see the acting chops on those people.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's always over the top and silly.
That's funny. I like that. I hate flashbacks. I don't want to see flashbacks. Fuck flashbacks.
It depends on how they're done.
No, it's always bad all the time.
Whenever they do like an episode where it takes place in the past, I maintain they should have the same actor looking the exact same age, just pretending to be younger.
I say start at the point at the flashback and then move the story forward. I hate it when they go backwards. It's like, okay, stuff. It's like, okay, so now I'm into the story. I'm really interested. And then flash. Now we're in his childhood. Oh, he was an orphan. It's so sad. Oh my God, it's so sad.
All right, when I'm talking flashback, like there's an episode of let's do this first. Mr. Hugh, it's your birthday. Undoomed, you can sing or not, but around here, this is what we do. Mr. Hugh, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Hughes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. I hope you have a great one. I really, really do. Anyway,
I can't sing, by the way.
I don't even try when I'm saying happy birthday. I can sing, I just don't do it online. There was an episode of like Band of Brothers, and it starts out with them standing in this blown out building. I think they're in Germany at the time. Mm-hmm. And it pauses and it flashes back to 3 days ago, not to their childhood, just to 3 days ago to bring you up to where they are then. Those ones I like. If you're talking about going like all the way back to their childhood to figure out what fucked them up, no, that's too far.
Yeah, but I still think that they should have just started the episode with where they got fucked up.
I hear you. But it was a change of pace for how they'd done the rest of the show.
I just hate that. I just really hate it. And I get turned off every time that happens. I'm like, okay, now I'm out of the story. Then I start picking up my phone and see what happened on Twitter and whatever.
Furry Kitten is turning 51 today as well. All right. Man, we've had a lot of birthdays the last couple of shows.
People were really horny 9 months ago.
Good God.
Jesus.
Was it cold?
It wasn't then.
I don't know. What's 9 months ago?
Well, we're on the 11th month minus 9. It would have been
February. Oh yeah, it's cold as fuck in February. Oh yeah, your parents were trying to stay warm.
Day, babies.
Something slipped in there. All right, Furry Kitten, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Furry Kitten.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday, Furry Kitten. Hope you have a good one. Did we just ruin Valentine's Day for you, knowing your parents probably humped that day? I'm just asking.
No, there's a track record of the people in the family getting lucky on Valentine's Day.
Look, man, people hump on Valentine's Day. It just happens.
Yeah.
That's why people buy cards and candy.
Yeah, consensually. You don't get to just buy cards and candy and they're going to put out one way or another. No. Let me grab a couple of things before we get too far.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna just I'm gonna refresh my soda. I'm here, but I'll be right back.
You're leaving, whatever.
We'll never see him again.
Yeah, the streaming can never end now.
Do my job for me, bitches.
Thank you, Unit 731. I have a perfect camp in China for those people. Just saying. Yeah, look, the Uyghurs are lonely and could probably use some entertainment and new friends. And thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. Actual split personality disorder is usually associated with severe childhood trauma when they have to compartmentalize the trauma response. It's fucking sad. Yeah, that is a completely different thing than what these little attention-seeking crybabies are doing.
Yeah, they're just trying to be cool on TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, I got a video to introduce you to what these people look like, because they're pretty much what you expect.
Yeah.
I can't share it until he comes back because I can't control this.
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, we're on the shitty internet, so we're not going to watch the video. We'll just look at it to see them.
It's a slideshow.
Yeah, it really is. It was fucked up the other day. We watched the Zapruder film on this.
Can't you get like a Starlink up there?
I have Starlink. The problem with Starlink is it runs really well, but every anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, there'll be a dip in it where it actually cuts out completely.
Yeah, he'll be talking and then just vanish for like 30 seconds.
Oh, he better get some more satellites up there.
Dude, I run 3 internets at my house.
You might just want to buy your own satellite at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Don't you have like fiber?
No. We barely have.
You out in the woods or something?
What's that?
In the woods? You out in the woods or something?
Not exactly in the woods, but I am in the middle of nowhere.
Huh. Okay.
Just down the street from my house, about a quarter of a mile, I could get really good internet.
Right.
But they won't bring it out here.
Wow, that sucks.
Because they're douchebags. All right. Opening it up. I forgot you. Oh, God. This one's actually not that bad, Jack.
No, I just wanted to give him an idea what type of people we're talking about.
For God's sake. Fucking TikTok. As soon as I clicked on it, start playing. I didn't want you to play.
TikTok fucking sucks, man. I don't know why it's so popular.
All right, let's see. She actually doesn't have too many of our warning signs here. She's got different colored hair. That's one.
Mm-hmm. The eye makeup looks kind of weird.
The eye makeup is.
I think that's reflection off her glasses.
Is it?
We have about 200 altars.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's because it's purple when she's all right.
Got colored lenses.
She got the "Daddy Choke Me" necklace on.
Yeah,
which I hate that's become a thing because I've always liked chokers on chicks.
I've always liked choking women. Ranting Monkey 2023.
I said chokers on chicks.
I don't know. I like choking women.
There you go.
Who doesn't? They seem to enjoy it pretty well. So,
yeah.
But on her choker, she's got the diaper pin.
Yeah, those are diaper pins. Look at me, please look at me. Have you looked at me yet?
What's that? She got a gummy bear in her ear.
Yes, I don't know this one over here on the left.
Yeah,
maybe her right, but I don't know what the fuck that is. All right,
looks like a gummy bear.
You should be able to hear it, but it'll be choppy as hell to watch.
Because we recently hit 40K, we're going to reintroduce ourselves. So we are the Angel System. We have about 200 altars.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about that. They call it a system.
Not a system of the Downs.
No, they're
I already
system.
made that joke, but
a system.
She's got
planetary system. Like,
200 altars.
Yes, which has gone up. When she first started this nonsense, she had like 66.
I mean, realistically, when you're in school, could you even remember all your classmates' names?
No.
Nope.
It's like, how do you remember 200 people?
There's 3 of us in this stream, and I guarantee you I'm going to call one of you. I've already called Jack the wrong name once.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, just remembering 200 people.
Well, when it's 200 people, nobody else is going to remember it anyway, so you can just make up whatever name you want.
Yeah, I imagine they have a notepad full of all this shit where they have backgrounds and stuff like that, because kids have nothing but free time.
Yeah.
All right.
We are diagnosed by psychiatrists that we...
No, you're not. Yeah. No, you're not. No. I do not believe you.
Are you talking we as in the queen?
The royal we. Yes.
Yeah.
By psychiatrists that we do have DID.
No, you're not.
And the body age is 17, and we are all happy to.
Well, there you go. That's the end of it. The body age
age
is 17.
Fuck me.
Fuck these people.
These people.
Dragon
Now,
Age.
with her specifically, I've watched a lot of her videos. Hers is blinking. That's how she switches. So the new
Of
person.
course. How boring.
She does the Tok'ra thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
Since humans blink about 6 times a minute, does she change every time she blinks, or does she have to do a special blink?
I hope so.
It's a prolonged blink, but that would be fucking hilarious.
Dragon Mage, thank you. I hate how everyone online claims they have depression or ADHD and then use that to excuse anything they do. Don't forget PCOS. That's one of my favorite. Bipolar is another one that everybody seems to have. And of course, the originator of this kind of stuff, fibro. Everybody has fibro. I understand. Believe me.
Yeah. I just saw that couple of minutes ago before I went on a stream. I just saw one of those guys explaining the way of the world, and his Twitter bio was all diagnosis for different mental illnesses. Like, I'm gonna take your word for that? Really?
Right.
You have this, that, that.
Well, one of my favorite arguments is, why do you need to know that I was diagnosed by a professional? Well, because if you're just saying it, it doesn't mean shit.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
You can't be diagnosed by an amateur.
WebMD is not a diagnosis.
Yeah, the dude that drives the van down at the weird, sketchy mall might tell you he's a doctor just so he could get you in there to examine you. That doesn't make him one.
Yeah, get in my white panel van.
It's nonsensical, but it gives them the clout that they look for. I mean, we've talked about this.
I've always maintained that TikTok is a Chinese psyop to destroy our spirit.
It's working.
Yeah.
I just think it's where everybody from Tumblr went to. Tumblr was no different.
But that's perfect for them because it's still a Chinese psyop.
Sure, look, and I'm not disagreeing with that part, but these people, I mean, some of them used to be on YouTube too. We have a problem right now with these people desperate for attention. And that one Helena girl who is a detransitioner, if you read her story, it's so fucking sad. She goes on to Tumblr, right? And she's a lesbian, and so that gets her a little clout, but she's white, undoomed. And as a white girl, even as a lesbian, that she doesn't get as much attention as, say, a black lesbian would, or a trans person.
Right.
So she's maybe I am trans, and her friends are all like, "Of course you're trans." And going into the trans, suddenly she was as popular as could be because she had another oppression point, another point for people to go, "Oh, your life is so hard." Yeah. I'm a fucking cripple. I get up every day. I do everything I can. Even if you are trans, get the fuck up and stop whining, and your life will get better.
Yeah.
No, whining's more fun and a lot easier.
It is.
And it makes more money.
Yeah. And you'll get way more attention.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can say that, Monkey.
I got to start milking this cripple thing more.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, I'm a cripple. Give me money. Tell all your friends there's a cripple here. And I'm fat too. That worked for Boogie.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Undoomed, did you watch the Boogie documentary?
There's a documentary?
Oh my God, you haven't seen it? Yeah.
Never even heard of that.
I will get you a link. Hold on.
Michael Klum. It's his first documentary he's done, and it's up on YouTube. And it's about Boogie. And it is one of the most depressing fucking things you'll see. It's all about how this fat man has ruined his own life.
Okay.
It's called The Dark Sad Life of Boogie 2988.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
The Dark Sad Life of Boogie 2988.
Yeah, I dropped it.
I guess he wasn't happy then, huh?
Oh, he's been trying to milk it's funny to watch. Real quick. Thank you, Alan, who says good morning. Good morning to you as well, sir. He's been trying to milk it because it did very well for the guy who made it. His name's Michael Klum. And he's gone on several different podcasts and stuff to talk about it. It's worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trying to milk it as like, look, guys, this is part of what happened. And it's just not working for him because people have just gotten so sick of him whining. He lists off all these medical problems he has, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like 90% of them would go away if he just lose some fucking weight.
Right.
I know I got all these problems.
But okay, so how is this different from like a Turkey Tom documentary or?
This one is actually done more professionally, like you would watch a documentary on, say, A&E, or I don't know who does documentaries anymore. But no, this is really professionally done, and it's the kind of thing you would see that if you didn't know who Boogie was, you'd be like, oh, I wonder who this guy is, and then you watch it, and you're like, I don't ever want to see that fat bastard again.
Yeah, he's shirtless through way too much of it.
Oh,
yeah. Real quick,
didn't he have like a fight with Wings of Redemption?
Yes, he did. It's brought up in the documentary.
Right.
Yeah, I put the link in the side chat, the public chats too, so everybody should go watch it, so we can all laugh at Boogie together, and we can all bask in how much I hate that stupid fat fuck.
All right. Well, I've saved it here, so look at that.
Real quick, thanks Alan for the generous donations. This morning, Jack. Morning, Alan. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for that. Hope everything's good. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The reason he did the boxing is because he really needed the money, and that part.
Did he get a good paycheck out of it, or?
According to him, he got $10,000, and he actually ended up in the red. He actually spent more to do the boxing than he got.
Wow.
Because he makes good financial decisions, which is a big part of it.
That seems to be the red line.
I really hope this guy keeps doing documentaries because it is well done, and I'd like to see him do something on somebody who's not so pathetic.
Right.
Oh no, I say make that your thing where like M. Night Shyamalan has twists. Make yours about like the biggest fucking losers.
But
you can
M.
find.
Night Shyamalan Ring Dong, he's kind of pathetic though.
He kind of is.
But he could do a documentary on him then too.
Yeah, there you go.
And the twist is it's really about somebody else.
It's really still about Boogie.
Yeah. It was Boogie the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one because I like my drama and stuff, but this isn't that kind of video. This is a very well made video, and I
appreciate well made documentaries. So I'll look at that.
Yeah, and in that case, I really do think you'll like it. The presentation is really well done, except for seeing Boogie shirtless more than I wanted to.
Yeah. And you get to meet his new girlfriend.
It's just no way around that.
There's not. It's actually how the documentary starts. He's walking down the street without his shirt on. Like, why? We all know he's fat. We don't have to see it.
How did he get all the footage? Is it just stuff that he got from the internet, or did he actually get footage of his own?
He hung out with Boogie.
Yeah, he hung out with Boogie for like 9 months.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is all original.
And then he just turned around and butt fucked him. That's awesome.
No, that's the weird. Boogie does not see this as a bad thing. He's like, no, that's just how my life is. Like, did we watch?
Whore.
Did we watch the same thing?
Oh, so he's like, I'm proud of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Before the documentary comes out, he'd already seen it.
Obviously, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Once you do, you'll be like, wait, he was promoting this? I promise you, that's how you'll feel. Because it is that bad. This man's life is pathetic. And it's all his own doing.
Yeah.
It's sad in not the I feel bad for you, but no, wow. That's
didn't
sad and pathetic.
Didn't he get his stomach stapled or something?
Yes.
Yeah, he still put a bunch of the weight back on though, because he's not smart.
Yep. Because never mind. Anyway, yeah, check that out. It is really, really good.
Yeah.
I will remind the audience, it is depressing because the man's life is, good God, easily fixed too. That's the weird part about it. It's not like he's so down on his luck he's living under a bridge. No one will talk to him.
Mhm.
Plenty of people try to help him, and
I've always heard that he was very manipulative.
He is. He absolutely. He uses his different problems to manipulate people.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I don't really know much about him, but I've always heard like he will tell people he's going to kill himself and stuff like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He's had probably a dozen tweets in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a really pathetic person. This doesn't really ruin the documentary for you, but there's a part where they're talking about how poor he got.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts $250,000 into crypto. And he makes $750,000 off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the documentary, they tell you he lost everything because that's what Boogie says.
Right.
In reality, Boogie went back down to $250,000. He still had the original investment. That's what he got back out with.
Right.
So he didn't lose anything, but he goes on and you can still find this on his channel. He goes to his audience and tells them, I lost all my money, you guys, in crypto. Could you please, please, please give me money?
Right.
And they did.
Yeah.
He's a manipulative piece of shit. He really is. Oh, man.
That sucks balls.
What have you been paying attention to in the world?
What, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't know. I mean, right now it's everything I see is just about Israel.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. It's like, am I callous? I'm just like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about the Middle East. You guys have been murdering each other for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
What else is new?
Again, for me, no, that's not callous. That's rational, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't involve us.
For me, my problem comes down to when it's lying and stuff. When you have people who are defending actual terrorists, like those kids in California at the one school. And when I say kids, they're adults. They're in college, and they actually put out this statement saying, "Oh no, this was in Florida." Sorry, saying we don't support Hamas. We are them.
Jesus Christ. Okay. But I would say that Hamas is a terrorist organization. And I would say that Israel is not without blame. You know, they're both not without blame.
Yeah. Israel isn't perfect. And yeah. I won't stand up for Israel in everything they do. But when it comes to shit like that, I'm like, they got really mad at Ron DeSantis because he says that's a state school that they need to be disbanded as a school organization. And people are like, oh, that's censorship. They literally claim to be part of a terrorist organization.
Yeah. Hamas is a terrorist organization. There's just no getting around that.
That's not censorship. That's just common sense.
I mean, imagine like 20 years ago if someone be like, yeah, we're Al-Qaeda.
Yeah,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
Well, and what really annoys me is you have all of these people now because there were folks who were like, we got to find these people, and not them, but other ones who just supported them. Mm-hmm. Like, we got to find them. And you can't do that. That's censorship. Like, ain't that a bitch? You guys have been doing that to people because they say that women can't be men.
Right. I'm not supporting censorship because it's on my side, though.
Nope.
I'm free speech absolutist, so I think they should say whatever they want, and then we can deal with them.
Exactly. You can say what you want, but this is, you know,
it's
they used
better
to
if they do. It's better if they do because then we know who they are and what they feel. All this thing about forbidding like hate speech and stuff like that it's counterproductive because then they'll just go underground. If you want to fight racism and you forbid racism, then well, okay, now they're just underground, right?
Yeah. I don't want stupid people to stop talking. One, it's literally my bread and butter.
Yeah, but apart from that, it's actually a good
I-
thing when they do
Yes.
talk, so we know who they are, and we can be like, okay, that's a fucking idiot. We don't need to listen to him ever again, right?
Yes, and one of I like, you know, Elon taking over Twitter because we can say more than we used to.
Mm-hmm.
But he still has that policy of, I forget how he says it, but basically, if you say
freedom of speech but not reach,
yes, freedom of speech but not freedom of reach.
Yeah.
Where if you say the wrong thing, then it gets hidden. I don't like that. At least that's still more than we used to be able to do. But how do you argue with somebody you can't even see?
The problem with that is that he's not fully in control.
And that's fair.
I had a 12-hour ban not long ago for just posting a picture, a meme. No, I didn't write anything. I just posted the meme and got a 12-hour ban. It's like that has never happened to me ever before, Elon.
That's weird because I've been much worse than I used to be, and I haven't gotten in trouble at all.
Yeah, I got in trouble for that, and it's like that never happened to me under Jack. But I'm not blaming Elon for that. I'm just saying he's still got a lot of SJWs working for him.
Well, even if that didn't happen and it was a perfect thing, you know, it really was the speech not reach.
It wasn't the speech not reach.
I know.
When you get okay,
I'm just saying, even if that, if let's say that never happened to you because they had a perfect system,
mm-hmm.
and you make it freedom of speech not reach, and somebody says something horrible, but only 5 of his fans or 100 of his fans get to see it, and nobody who would argue against it can see it, that doesn't help, because the beauty of freedom of speech is that you can say whatever stupid shit you want to, and then I can respond to it.
Yeah.
And when you make it where I can't respond to it, you didn't really do anything. You've just hidden it. It didn't go away. The people that know him or follow him can go to his page and see it, and then there's literally no pushback. How does that help?
I think that's some sort of weird. I mean, that's really the sad part of it, isn't it? That even the richest guy in the world has to bend the knee for this shit.
Yeah.
He has to do something to not get totally blown out by all the advertisers.
And right now he's dealing with that because of what Media Matters just pulled.
Yeah.
Media Matters basically curates some shit so they can say, look, there's ads popping up on Nazi shit. And so a whole bunch of advertisers drop out, and then you have Elon responding to that one post where all the guy is saying is that a lot of left-leaning Jewish folks were like, hey, bring in all these people that hate us, and now they're dealing with all those people that hate them. They're like, it was amazing how many articles we read where like, how did we get to this point where these people are being openly anti-Semitic? Like, have you paid attention?
Well, it's better if they're openly anti-Semitic.
I agree with you, but
then you can deal with them. You can't deal with them if they're forced into hiding.
You have these people that for the last since September 11th, 2001, have been defending anything Muslims do.
Right.
And suddenly you're like, wait, they don't like Jews?
What?
I'm honestly in shock. I mean,
I'm so shocked.
How did you guys not see it coming? And that's all the post that Elon was responding to said. They're like, you guys have invited these communities in. How do you not understand that this was what they were thinking? It wasn't even hidden then. It's just that you have this terrorist attack that pulls it out, and then suddenly like, oh my God, they don't like Jews. No shit, they've been saying that.
I mean, it's good that they say it so we know who's who. I think that's always a good thing. I think sunlight is the best disinfectant.
But here's the problem, and I agree with you, and in a perfect world, we're both right. But we live in a world right now, and I'm not saying, believe me, I'm free speech. I'm not saying hide this shit. But we live in a world now where that stuff gets excused as long as it's on the right side.
Yeah.
As long as you're a lefty who didn't like Jews 2 weeks, well, let's see, that was October 7th. So 2 months ago, then anything you said that was anti-Semitic, oh, they did this with Ilhan Omar. Like, oh, she just didn't understand. She didn't understand Jews. You're telling me the Muslim woman didn't understand anything about Jews?
Yeah.
I have bridges I can sell you if you want. Tons of them.
Yeah. It's not like that's part of their whole religion.
Yeah. They've been fighting over Jerusalem since
But that's why I say that. Like, they've been doing this for thousands of years. It's at some point, it just feels to me like maybe that's just the way they like it.
I think that it's just the part of the world that it's close enough to the Western world still, where, by the way, it hasn't been that long since Europe stopped fighting with each other the same fucking way.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, these guys were bombing the shit out of each other every couple of decades, taking over everybody's territory.
Yeah, those fucking Europeans.
Sound familiar, guys?
Yeah. But I mean, it literally has been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I don't see how they're. I don't see a solution here. That's sad. I don't know.
The problem with especially the Middle East right now is that it does run so deep with their religion, and they have such deep claims to the Holy Land, and it's something I will never understand because I'm not a religious.
But don't they have the what's the big cube in Mecca, right?
I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember. It's like the Makkah or
space rock.
Sorry,
it's a space rock.
It's not a space rock.
Yeah, the Borg
space
cube.
rock. It came from outer space and crashed on the planet.
It's the Borg cube.
Yeah, it lives in that little house.
The Kaaba. Someone says in the chat, it's Kaaba.
Is that what it is?
Familiar.
Okay, yeah,
right.
But that the Jerusalem itself is such a holy place to the three Abrahamic religions, the three big Abrahamic religions,
right?
And that's what it comes down to. But
can't the Muslims just choose one place? Can't they just stick to the Kaaba?
No, because again, it's all about the claim to that specific place.
Okay, but Christians don't claim that place anymore.
No, Christians
did like 1,000 years ago, but not now.
Christians are like, let the Jews fight over it. We'll go visit from time to time. But no, you have to have that the Reformation that makes it so that they don't care, because the Christian thing is turn the other cheek, right?
Right.
You definitely don't have that in Islam.
I guess they need to go to. They need to have their own Renaissance.
Yes, and it's not going to happen. We need to colonize the whole place. Is what needs to happen.
Oh,
colonization is not a bad word.
It's not. And I'm telling you guys, this is my new thing. I'm defending the West and I'm defending colonization because it's not a horrible thing. It can be. Yeah, well, we're supposed to be ashamed of it.
Well, I mean, if you just go out now and steal a country, sure, but
why?
But why what?
Why would that be a bad thing now?
Well, okay.
See what I'm saying?
We've tried that. I think American meddling doesn't have the best track record.
Well, I think that's because we've never committed.
We've been half-assing it for ages.
Yes. We've been half-assing it. We're going to go over there and make them like us, and that's not. You have to go over there and take over.
Okay, you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I don't think we're great at doing that.
I don't think we've ever tried it in the way of like British colonization.
Okay, what's the difference?
We half-ass it. We go like take Iraq, one of the last ones we did.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go over there to claim Iraq and take it over and make it American. We went over there to get rid of Saddam and build a state that likes us. And you can't do it that way because all you do is build resentment within the population. You have to actually take it over and like, this is our place now. You can go along or get along.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying we should be going around the world and doing that. But if we're going to try our what we call nation building doesn't work. You have to go take the fucker over. That's how you do it. And we've never committed to that.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
We've never committed to it. And I don't necessarily think taking land just because we're further along and more civilized, we're civilized, is a bad thing. Like with Iraq, if we were going to do that, our goal should have been like Iraq is going to be American now.
Okay. Well, but how would we implement that? Be like a territory?
Yeah.
Okay, like Guam or something.
Sure, it's American now. We're going to import all our stuff, and it's just part of America. It's state number 51.5. I'm giving him a half because they're so far away.
Okay, so the 51st one is England, I guess.
We should take over England. We should take over Canada and Mexico, and then England.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, just stop fucking around. There's so many resources down there in Mexico. Just get rid of the cartels and make that an American area. And Canada, just go up there and slap the French out of them. And yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
Works for me.
Point being, if we're gonna nation build, we need to actually nation build, and it really hasn't been done since colonial times,
right?
And you have the Russians who are kind of doing it right now, with like,
well, they're doing it badly.
Yeah, they're dragging that shit out.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's I can't imagine a more pointless war than this.
I understand why they're doing what they're doing. They don't care what the West thinks. And it's something that's really funny to listen to Americans talk about these kind of things, because we have our Western values, and specifically our American values. And something like going and taking territory is just not. We can't do that. We're on stolen land anyway. We definitely shouldn't steal anymore. Literally Asia, and especially Northern Asia there with the Russians and Europe, they've been doing this shit forever. It's literally what they do. And right now, with them having Crimea, taking over the Donbass region, which does have a lot of ethnic Russians in there, it just makes sense to connect everything. If you're looking at it from Putin's point of view, it just makes sense to connect it.
Yeah. You want
but with all these, it's one thing making sense, and then there's the other part of it, just sacrificing so many fucking lives for this shit.
Look, Russians don't care. This is part of what I'm talking about with our Western values. Russians don't care. Life like that has never been one of their things. Look at what Stalin said. Stalin's like, they won't even care about the millions of people who died because we'll have done such a great thing.
Right.
They sent soldiers to war with nothing and told them, hey, pick up a gun from a dead person on your way. They just don't have the same values we do when it comes to life like that. And maybe the people do. They're like, I don't want to fucking die. Too bad. Your leaders don't give a shit.
Well, that would be fine if they had like a media that would be balanced and would tell them or let them hear the truth.
Oh, that's not part of it either, man. You can't tell the people the truth. You can't tell the people the truth because then you can't control the language. You control everything, and media is controlling language.
Yeah,
it's what happens here. It's
but
why
we have an advantage, and that is that we speak English. Those fuckers, they can't go on Twitter and read English.
And that's fair too, yeah. But I would argue that even being able to go onto Twitter doesn't help a whole lot.
No, but I'm just saying as an example, they can't read our media.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, when we're coming to the end of the Cold War, one of the things we did is push so much propaganda into their countries.
Yeah. I mean, the end of the Cold War was a huge mistake on our part. We sent over all this Milton Friedman shit and fucked everything up.
You're not wrong.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. And it's not that the Cold War didn't need to end. But we did kind of also just leave them hanging too.
Yeah, it was basically our fault that we did that, where they split all the companies up into bonds that they gave to every citizen, and then all the oligarchs just sucked them up.
Yep. Just stole them. Yeah, a lot of fucked up shit. Look, I'm still glad we won the Cold War, but we have a lot of hanging resentments over there, and again, still I think misunderstandings of different cultures. For a country that likes to talk about culture so much, we don't understand a lot of it.
Well, we like our own culture.
We do, and I think it's just a human thing. I think it's just a human thing to assume other people are like you. You know what? This is a true story. When I was probably 12 or so, I was talking to my foster sister, and I told her that when people leave the room and stuff, I just kind of think that they disappear and they don't really do anything. They're just kind of in a void until they come back to where I can see them. And she's like, that is the most arrogant thing I've ever heard. I was like, what do you mean? I had no clue that everybody else didn't think that same way. It's just natural for us to assume everybody thinks like we do because that's our experience.
How old were you?
Like I said, about 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the first time I realized, wait, we're not all the same. we don't have the similar thought, because I had two brothers and we played all the same toys and listened to the same music and liked the same TV shows. So it just was natural to me. Oh, we're exactly alike. And it was then that I was like, oh, so people are different. And then as you get older, you read history and stuff. And if you look at those areas, I mean, it really is a weird thing the way Americans cared so much for their dead. The no man left behind thing, that wasn't a thing in war. Like, oh, he's down, leave his ass. We got other shit to do.
Yeah, but that's a really good thing.
It is. It 100% is. But it's not like it's gone worldwide.
I guess I don't know how the other military powers use it, but that's a great thing. I mean, any soldier would like to have that kind of thing in their back. Like, okay, I'm not going to get left behind no matter what.
And I well, there's also the other side of it. If you don't know that somebody's going to help you up, maybe you try harder.
I don't know. I think it's demoralizing.
I agree with you as a Westerner. I haven't lived in that kind of society though.
No.
I think as Americans, we do have a problem putting our Western values on people who just don't have them. And part of that
I just know that if I went to war, I would like to know that I wouldn't be left behind.
That's a fair thing to want. But no, when it comes, that's the point being though, with Russia, they don't have the same value on life that we do. Especially not when it comes to war. The powers that be are like, fuck it, get them all killed. We got more.
Sure. but they don't have unlimited people.
True.
They only have half our population,
and it's getting smaller by the day.
Yeah.
Oh man, citation gays for Palestine. Oh God, that fucking group. Gays for yeah, you haven't seen that
for Palestine?
Okay. Gays, and they have a lesbians for Palestine as well.
Of course they do.
Yep, they have. We've seen trans for Palestine is my favorite. Because maybe you could get away with being gay, but they're gonna find out you're a dude and throw you off a building.
Yeah,
and most of their big buildings have been bombed, so you're gonna get thrown off a small building over and over and over again. It's gonna be like a slow stoning from a 3-story building.
Yeah, I have to go get something here. Hold on.
All right. What else is going on in chat? Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be ignoring you guys in chat. I'm really enjoying the conversation.
We haven't talked about Chauvin getting stabbed yet.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we did. I don't know. I kind of blacked out there for a minute.
Yeah. Again, there's not much to say about it because there's not much information other than he got stabbed and the prison won't acknowledge it was definitely him.
Yeah. Did you see that? Sorry, not that you didn't see my cough. Did you see that some of the hostages that were released today were the Thai citizens?
Oh no! Is that who they released?
They released 13 Israelis and like 10 or 11 Thai people, and then 1 Filipino. But that was a separate deal made with Thailand, between Thailand and Iran.
Oh.
So some of the people that got released today were not part of the Israel negotiation. They just released them all at the same time.
Yeah, I just imagine they're waiting for us to give them more money before they let our guys go.
That's what I figured too. And Biden will probably do that. But
it's how the first 2 got released.
Yeah.
I just love the fucking stories about nobody knows how this happened. We just gave them a bunch of money. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with those pallets of cash.
We gave them millions of dollars, and suddenly 2 Americans got released, and nobody can figure out how that happened.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know what Thailand said to them or gave them, but they released a bunch of Thai hostages. Supposedly, there's going to be like 30 Thai hostages released.
I'm listening to all these numbers, and it seems because they're like, they took 200 people. It sounds like they took a lot more than 200.
Well, there were people taken by Hamas. Then there were people taken by the, not ISIS, but that other
Islamic
organization.
Jihad.
Yeah, Islamic Jihad. And then there's the civilians apparently grabbed some Israelis as well. So
yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, all of the people who got snatched up on October 7th when Hamas invaded Israel it wasn't just Hamas who was working. You had Islamic Jihad, and they just apparently some regular civilians went with them and helped snatch up hostages.
Apparently some news agencies too.
Yeah.
Thanks, CNN.
Yeah, thank you.
They gave him 40 ladyboys. Stop it.
Yeah, well, there'd be virgins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. Unfortunately, did you guys see the stories about some of the big wigs over there and them having their little parties with little boys?
Who's big wigs?
Hamas.
Oh, that's been going on. That's a thing that they do in Afghanistan too, where they recruit boys to dance for them and then they just rape them all night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very common practice over there.
Could have lived without learning that knowledge the other day.
I guess that makes sense because then their women are virgins.
I guess.
Yeah, the dancing boys thing was documentary like 15 years ago. Where you been?
Not watching that.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It just makes sense.
Oh, these fucking weirdos. See what I'm talking about? Just we need to go colonize the world.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
We should have just colonized Russia after the fall.
Yeah. Just make that more. It's right off the coast of Alaska. We're right there.
You could see him from Palin's backyard.
You can just look out her back window and see it. She got so much shit for that comment.
Yeah.
What other tropes do you hate in movies and TV shows, Undoomed?
What tropes?
You don't like flashbacks.
No, I don't like that. That's my pet peeve. What else?
I don't like detective shows where they don't give you all of the information, and at the end, suddenly, like, oh, look at this, and you can figure it all out then.
Well, okay, I got another one there. I hated when they have the end interview in a detective show, and the bad guy just gives it all up because he's
God, every time, yes.
It's like, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna tell you. Like, fuck off.
I like when they do that after they've asked for a lawyer.
Yeah, that's
I like
even more stupid.
I like the show Castle, but this happens every time somebody asks for a lawyer, they still somehow manage to get him to break before the lawyer gets there.
Oh, you don't want to have to bring the lawyers into this.
Then everything would be inadmissible then. So it's like, good job, asshole.
Right?
Yeah, good job tanking the case by violating his rights.
Ragnar, thank you so much. A big thing about Russia is they have not admitted defeat in any war, that they have not lost 500,000 troops. Ukraine has lost over 350,000 to Russia's 120. I still think, look, Russia is still beating the shit out of Ukraine, but they're getting a black eye doing so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Ukraine is a much smaller country with a much smaller population. In a war of attrition, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That's just a math. I still don't think this war serves any great purpose.
Back to the... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Back to the tropes.
Yeah, back to the tropes. I don't like that every kind of show that has more than one main character, you have to hook the people up with each other. There's not a show, where you got a boy and a girl character and they don't become in a relationship. Like every woman you ever meet, you end up in a relationship with. That's not how reality works.
Yeah.
And
That's how stalking works.
That's how stalking works. Yes, you end up in a relationship with the prison guard.
So what's your favorite Star Trek episode?
Oh God, probably. I mean, the one with Picard and the lights. I don't know him by name, by the way.
Oh, you mean Chain of Command?
Is that what it? Yeah, the one with Picard and the lights. But actually, the one with the Enterprise C, when it comes through, when Tasha comes back for that one episode.
Yesterday's Enterprise.
Yes, I fucking love that episode. I love all of them getting to see her again and realizing they're sending her just to die and how much it fucks with them.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you died before, but now you're gonna die again. Bye.
Yeah. It's one of those where the chain of command actually means something, and Picard has to do the right thing, and even though it's this really fucking hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's one that a lot of what you see in Star Trek, even with the chain of command there on the Brit, and again, guys, I'm a TNG guy, so that's where I'm going to go. But you still see it. Picard's definitely in charge. Riker's is number 2, but there's almost a familiarity there. And in something like that, where you have to make the tough decision because that is your fucking job. Like, I gotta send you to die.
Right. Remember The Measure of a Man?
That's a Data one, right?
Right.
What
Right.
is on trial one?
Yes, yes. Oh, very good one. Yeah.
That's a favorite of mine. Not my favorite, but it's a favorite.
And that's the problem with Star Trek. There's so many good ones, man.
Well, you should watch DS9 because that's where the good stuff is.
See, the problem with DS9 for me is that I watched it early, and just like any Star Trek, if all you do is watch the early stuff, you're probably gonna have a negative take on it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, if you watch season 1 of TNG, it's like I actually did watch that when I was a kid, and I was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm never gonna watch this."
I have watched season 1 maybe twice.
Yeah,
and I've seen the rest of it many, many times.
Season 1 is fucking disturbing.
I would even argue season 2 is almost as bad. It's not till season 3 that it really picks up.
That is true. There are some good episodes. I think the Data episode is in season 2, but that's like the only one.
Yeah, I there's episode. I like most of the idea of the original show. What Encounter at Farpoint's the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's boring as fuck.
I liked it, but
I thought that was horrible.
The acting is so stiff.
Yeah,
so very stiff.
It was boring. Most of all, it was boring. That's the chief cardinal sin.
I think hair is the noticeable factor on there because Deanna Troy's hair comes down and Riker grows a beard, and that's when the show picked up.
Yeah, Riker looks weird.
I get weird. Well, it's when Captain Jellicoe told Deanna Troi to put on a fucking uniform.
Yeah. Why are you walking around in those weird moo things?
Yeah, just put on a fucking uniform, you fucking whore.
I'm going to be honest. I like the boobs flopping. I'm not gonna front on that one.
I mean, it's nice with boobs and everything, but it was weird that she was just hanging around with all her like nightclub dance outfits.
She's still an officer, but they're like, well, she's a psychic or a psychologist, so she can
she's like an officer with 20 citation marks.
Oh man. No, there's another episode that I want to mention is the one where Riker falls in love with that androgynous chick.
Oh yeah.
And he goes to save her, and she's been re-indoctrinated, and he just has to kind of leave her there. That was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But it also has a good interaction between him and Worf, because Worf finally, hey, you're my friend. I'm gonna go help you break the fucking law. It's wonderful.
The Prime Directive wouldn't have still been a thing after Captain Kirk. Come on.
That's fair.
He ruined that.
It was still used. It's kind of like how we say we have free speech,
Yeah, it's a guideline, not a rule.
Yes. Jack, you got a favorite?
Not really. The episode where they fight the Gorn was really good. Dun 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 dun. Whenever they played that music was cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I was down with that because something cool was going to happen. And Kirk built a gun out of random shit he found lying around to stop the Gorn.
It's kind of MacGyver.
Yeah, because Kirk was not an idiot. He knew how to make gunpowder. No, I was always I grew up with Next Generation, but I still like the storytelling in original series better. I think the stories were better. City on the Edge of Forever. A lot of those are just classic sci-fi stuff, and I have partiality to that.
Okay, so before we move on to the Star Trek favorite, what is your Star Trek TOS favorite?
Oh, see, I'm not as familiar.
This is way before my time. So this is like stuff that I watched later in life.
My problem with the original series is that my favorite is actually the 6th movie.
Yeah, but the movies that's a different thing.
But that's my answer.
Yeah. I mean, of course it is. I mean, that movie is amazing. So of course that's going to be the answer. I'm just thinking because I'm not a huge fan of the original series, but I respect it. And I would say that my favorite episode of the original series would be the fuck is that called? Balance of Terror. There we go.
What is that? Again, I don't know any of the names. I've seen the original series once.
Right. It's basically a Romulan episode, and they have like a little sort of submarine fight, like this. The spaceships are submarines, and they're trying each other out, and they're shooting. And
gotcha.
That's basically that's my favorite.
I have problems watching the original series for the same reason I can't watch Doctor Who.
I totally respect that. I can't enjoy the TOS like I can enjoy anything after that because it's just too corny.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just too young for this shit.
Seeing a computer that's obviously just a cardboard box that's been painted gray, I can't pretend that. My suspension of disbelief doesn't go that far.
I think it helps if you've grown up with it.
Maybe, yeah. My dad loved it.
Because as a kid, you're more likely to go with it than an adult is.
Yeah.
I watched it out of respect for Star Trek itself, and I enjoyed what I watched.
It was on. The reruns were on when I was a kid, but I watched it and I didn't really get into it until later. I guess it was just too weird, too corny.
Yeah. I grew up with the original Doctor Who and the Star Trek repeats, Batman 66, Monsters, Addams Family, Blake 7. All that stuff was on TV all the time. So it was kind of like normal fare for me.
So Jack, what was your favorite Star Trek episode?
Probably The World is Hollow. It was
World is Hollow. Which one was that?
It was in the, I think, 3rd season of the original series. Where
I mean all of Star Trek.
Of all the Star Treks? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched Star Trek in a long time, so I'd have to rewatch some of them to really establish that.
So it's probably not that one though, because you didn't like the original series.
Well, I like the original series more than Next Generation.
Really?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I grew up with Next Generation, but I like the original series better.
Wow, that's amazing.
Stories are better written.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, see, the budget stuff doesn't bother me. It bothers Monkey. So I have amazing suspension of disbelief. Hence all the reptilians.
You surely do, because, it bothers me.
Yeah, it bothers most people, honestly. But, I don't really give a shit about that too much. I mean, unless it's like over the top silly, like Captain Video bad. If you've never seen Captain Video, I highly recommend watching it. Star Trek looks 1,000 times better.
I've never heard of that.
It's an old serial from like the 40s. And, oh, dear God.
So it's in black and white, so I won't be watching it.
Yeah, you're never going to see it. You'll have walked away a long time before that even starts.
I mean, me and the missus, we have best of the worst nights where we just watch the worst thing we could ever come across. We do that like at least once a month.
Nice.
Me and my missus could never do that because I would not be able to shut up, and she hates when I talk during TV shows.
That's the whole point. That's why you watch a bad movie, so you can talk, because it doesn't matter. The story's going to suck. No. The visual effects going to suck. The photography's going to suck. Everything's going to suck. And hopefully it's going to suck so much so you laugh your ass off.
I am funny as hell, but she does not find me funny most of the time anyway. But it's certainly not when she's trying to watch something.
Well, you should try watching a bad movie where it doesn't matter.
Bad. No talking during it. Shh.
Yeah, see, that's not going to happen.
That's not the point. You're missing the point. The whole point
I get the point 100%. I just
you're
going
to have a communal experience. You're going to sit there and talk about it while it's happening.
No. See, my wife would never go for something like that.
Yeah, a lot of women are like, there's no talking during the movie.
Yes.
Who is that again?
Well, no, that's me if it's a good movie. I don't like talking, but it's a good movie. It's a bad movie, though.
I agree.
I hear you. I agree. We would probably have fun watching that together, but my wife would not be involved. She would have to stay home.
Real quick. Right. Thank you, Rogue Thought. TOS is excellent. I think so. But I grew up with a lot of really low budget stuff. We used to watch. My dad likes the cliffhanger serials.
Oh,
the 30s and 40s. I've seen a lot of them. We grew up with all these like TV repeats of old 60s shows. So, yeah, it's kind of when you grow up with it, it's a lot easier to set aside your suspension of disbelief, I think.
Right.
Well, the only serials from back then that I've ever seen is the Batman one. And I watched it in my 20s, but that's only because it was Batman. I can suspend disbelief for him and Robin in his zoot suit, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know me, I don't do the black and white. I do. Yeah. I was born in color and I want it that way.
I don't like black and white either.
Thank you. You are the first person I've ever heard agree with me on that shit.
So there's some great black and white stuff out there.
I didn't know that was some sort of controversial thing.
Look, Casablanca, I fucking love that movie. And I will not watch the colorized version of it, but it would have been better in color. That's all I'm saying.
They didn't have it though.
I know they didn't have it. That's not my fault. I'm not watching their shit like they look, okay, because we've argued about this one before. The Wizard of Oz. They made the decision to make part of that shit in that crappy black and white.
Sepia tone is a color, so it's technically in color.
No, it's not in color. We all know. And they made that decision. They had the ability to do it because the rest of the fucking movie's in color.
Yeah, but color was new then.
That doesn't you do not get it out because it was new.
Yeah, the whole world was in sepia until that movie played that scene.
And then suddenly everybody turned color. Oh, no, black and white's not for me.
No.
How do you not have a favorite Star Trek?
I don't know. I watched them all, but I haven't seen them in a long time. Except I haven't seen all of Discovery or Lower Decks. Because I hate those shows. They're fucking dumb.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Nobody watches that.
I would hope not. Not real Star Trek fan. That's for the tourists. I would have to argue that the best Deep Space Nine episode is when they went back in time to the Trouble with Tribbles episode.
Well, that's fun. That's far from my favorite, though.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any of those in easily years.
My favorite episode of Deep Space Nine and of all of Star Trek is In the Pale Moonlight, if you remember that one.
Not offhand.
I probably didn't even see it.
That's when Cisco sits down and has a talk with his computer to do a log. And he just confesses all these crimes and murders and shit that he's done.
Oh, my.
Just to get the Dominion, to get the Romulans into the war to beat the Dominion. And it's all true. And it's just like so like anti-Picard. Like Picard would never murder people and shit.
No.
And it's just the best thing ever.
Yeah, because Picard could have taken out the Borg and didn't.
Yeah, but Cisco is like a different animal. He's just like he's just fuck it. I have to be a party to murder? Fine. I'm going to get those fuckers in this war. That's the best episode ever.
I don't remember that one. I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't remember it. Yeah, I blacked out a lot of those later seasons because I kind of half watched them.
Well, you've also watched way too much.
I mean, Cisco is the best captain. That's just the way it is.
I'm a Picard guy.
Yeah, I'm a Cisco guy.
That leaves Kirk for you, Jack.
I like Kirk. He was pretty awesome.
No, you get the
nobody wants Janeway. No,
you get Janeway.
No, on
I tried watching that.
No, man, Chakotay, man.
I tried watching that show. It's
Chakotay is always the boringest plank ever.
That guy should have been the captain.
Well, that would have been boring.
The whole show was boring. It made no sense. Like, it's supposed to be, we're lost in the Delta Quadrant. Ooh, the ship doesn't come back as a patchwork of 80 different technologies they had to replace along the way. No, it's still pretty good. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Voyager is what happens when you try to write a story like that without Ronald D. Moore.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to you, but what I'm saying is that it's basically the exact same story as Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Exactly. Except Galactica did it better.
Galactica did it light years better.
On a lower budget in the 70s.
Yeah. I mean the new one.
The new one? Yeah. Still haven't seen that whole series, but very good show.
That is such an amazing show.
I feel like Voyager was probably the most cash grabby of all of the Star Treks.
Oh, for sure. And it had the biggest reset button of all of them. Like every episode, boink.
Yeah, they
hit that reset button.
They wanted all the coolness and stuff of TNG. But them going out there, you're right. When they came back, that ship should have been the nacelles should have been like old Chevy engines or something that they found laying around out there.
Yes,
that is literally the last episode of Galactica. The entire ship is so beat up that it breaks its neck.
Yeah, that's how it should be when you're coming back from there. Because what do they spend 7 years or something like that out there?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
It is 7, exactly.
Nope, everything's perfect. Even the doctor that we just made a hologram of.
Yep.
Look, they did at least incorporate new technology for him because he was able to leave the medical bay at some point.
Yeah, because because they had time travel shenanigans.
Yeah, but at least they incorporated something new into it. Whereas that ship would have been a patchwork of every scrap they could assemble on the way. And half the crew would have been dead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of my problem with the doctors, because the doctor's just a computer program. He's not learning anything new. He should have been one of their biggest problems, and he should have stayed in the medical bay. That is such a douche move. Like, he's basically human.
No, because I mean, Robert Picardo was their greatest asset.
I'm not saying he's not.
Only really good actor on there.
They should have had to go to him for each of those.
They had to get him out there because he's like the biggest thing they had.
Lazy though.
It's not lazy. It's not lazy when he's the biggest fucking asset they had. All the other actors are fucking planks.
True.
It made more sense for the doctor to be able to leave the medical bay just for storytelling purposes, and that was the MacGuffin they came up with, which I don't think was necessarily
such a
bad.
Good actor.
Yeah, it did have flaws. He could get shut off. So
yeah, I mean, you always have to put in a drawback for something.
Yeah, but that show had so many other problems other than the doctor. I don't think
was the best part. I'm not
I think
lie.
He honestly probably should have been the only survivor by the end of that show.
And I'd have been I would have been all right with that because that would have meant his doctor skills weren't up for the Delta Quadrant, which they shouldn't have been.
Well, he was a very good doctor. There's like they programmed like 1,000 doctors into him.
Yeah, to be fair, it was like the collected xeno knowledge of the Federation. It's not like it was just humans.
Yeah.
There were lots of other alien types.
Whenever those fucking Doctor Who fans say, "Oh, the Doctor," all I can think of is Robert Picardo and Voyager.
Oh,
fair enough.
That's monstrous.
Look, I'm not saying he's not a good actor, and that if I was the director, I wouldn't want him more involved. I'm just saying, if we're talking about a ship that's stuck out there, he'd have been stuck in his little lab where. How many times do we see the doctors and the rest of stuff? It's only when they're actually needed. Their show sucks so bad.
Actor on the show.
You're thinking of Battlestar Galactica. You're thinking of Battlestar Galactica.
I'm not. You only saw Crusher when she was needed. Because
no, she was on away missions and shit.
Yeah,
because she was
her
needed.
own stories and shit. There's even an episode called "Remember Me."
Which one's that?
When she's like stuck in a bubble and it's shrinking, the entire universe is shrinking.
But isn't she like in her room that whole time?
No, it's the entire Enterprise. It's like the universe is shrinking around the Enterprise.
I'll have to watch that one again because maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Because there's one where she's like kind of in a dream state, but she's still walking around the ship and stuff. And a one-off episode, that's cool. But making him, they used him because you're right, he was the best part of the show.
Yeah.
Not because it makes sense for the Doctor to be doing everything.
No, but he was such a great actor.
And I agree with you 100% on that. That show just sucked ass.
The writers were so limited by their ability to, because honestly, that show should have been more like Space Above and Beyond, where the main cast almost changed every episode because people got killed. And
yeah, I mean, it is literally Battlestar Galactica. That's what it
is. And they should have treated it that way, where nobody had a contract beyond a season.
And Ronald D. Moore has said that he was very disappointed in Voyager because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Voyager was a missed opportunity, and again, I just think it was a cash grab.
They had all those, like, remember the half of the crew was Maquis and the other half was Starfleet, and they had to come together, and then like one episode later, it was all resolved. Like that's a great sense of a source of tension there.
Yeah,
right?
But
it's kind of what I'm getting at with like the Doctor, right? They set this thing up, and that what you set up should be what directs all the writing. And instead, if they needed something, they just throw now he can go everywhere.
Right.
That should have been how you. It's like when TNG comes out. Roddenberry's like, look, there cannot be any problems with the fucking transporters because by now they should work.
Right.
And if you go back to the original, transporters were an issue way too often. And so you take that away from, like, you have to write a good story that doesn't involve, somebody came back as a piece of jelly. Having constraints is a good thing.
That's actually the first part of the motion picture, though, which he was involved with.
Fucking the motion picture sucks ass.
No, I love the motion picture.
Oh God,
I think that's my favorite Star Trek movie.
No,
yeah.
How can we not be friends anymore?
Can we all disagree?
I know people hate me when I say that, but
look, the story of it's fine. The directing of it and it taking as long as it did. The opening scene where you got to look at the Enterprise slowly for 18 minutes.
Everything is amazing.
No, it's a pretty film.
There's one sequence when they go through the warp bubble or whatever. That's goof. That's really goofy. But apart from that, I think that's the one that I've gotten the most pleasure out of.
Oh God, I don't even know.
And
how
I
to react
love
to
the Captain Kirk's dentist shirt.
that.
Have you noticed that they all have Apple watches
No,
around
I
their
haven't
neck?
watched that in years.
They got like Apple watches. They look, and they're even got the white armbands and everything, like Apple watches. And
I
that's
wouldn't be
their
shocked if that's
communicators.
not where
That's
they got the idea.
no. But I mean, that's
No, I mean
funny.
for Apple Watches.
That's funny, right?
I guess that movie's so bad, dude. I like the story. The whole idea that a probe that humanity sent out in what, the 70s, 60s,
Yeah.
is just looking.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry if I'm spoiling this the motion picture for you. It's an interesting concept. It really is.
Yeah.
I just think that they drug it out so much because they were on the big screen and had the budget for it that it could have been a tighter movie.
I mean, they did make a director's cuts, and
There's a director's cut of that.
Does it have 20 more minutes of Enterprise?
How fucking long is that thing?
It's actually pretty much the same length, but they fixed up some effects.
Okay, maybe I'll give the director's cut a chance. I haven't watched that in forever.
One of the best part about Star Trek: The Motion Picture was there was no sea monkey in it.
That's you hate that sea monkey, dude.
Fucking
sorry, what? Come again?
Neelix from Voyager.
Oh, I hate
sea
Neelix.
Monkey. Yeah, everybody should hate him. He's fucking
weird. Neelix. He's the worst part of Voyager.
Okay,
every time he does something, he fucks it up.
Let me bring up the movie everybody hates, 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the worst one, but it's probably the second worst one.
No wonder you like the first one. What do you think is the worst?
It's without a doubt, it's Insurrection, Star Trek Insurrection.
Oh, okay, so you're going even there. Yeah, that's fine. I could agree with you on that.
I don't really hate
sucks balls. I mean, do you remember the ending? They didn't even fucking remove the blue screens.
Yeah,
they shot everything against a blue screen, and then they're like, just leave it in. Fuck it.
Just go with it. It's fine.
It's fine. He likes blue, that guy.
I think when it comes to 5, it got such a bad rap because of all the bad CGI in it. It's so bad. I like the story.
I watched that one when I was a kid, and I remember so vividly the scene where Kirk is like, I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain. It makes me who I am.
Yeah.
That scene stuck with me in my fucking
It's
heart.
iconic. Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of bullshit in that movie. The Kirk climbing El Capitan when he's fucking 55 years old, and they're singing their fucking songs and doing the s'mores.
Yep.
Because they went camping. Most of all, Uhura stripping. Like, for fuck's sakes, you guys.
I was kind of okay with that. Guys, I do need to wrap up here.
No.
You leave me alone with my old ladies, all right? We're going to wrap up here because I've been going for too long, and the girls are going to be getting up soon. So I got all 3 of them again for another day, so I'm going to enjoy as much of that as I can. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. Undoomed, we don't get to talk enough. Pleasure talking with you again, my friend.
Yeah, always.
Anything you want to chill out?
Not really. Just be my friend on Twitter.
Go be his friend on Twitter, folks. Jack, anything you want to chill?
I'll drop some links as some new videos come out. As always, thanks for the donations. You guys are awesome. And thanks for listening to talk about Star Trek for a while.
Yeah, always enjoy that.
Oh, I love some Trek talk. I don't have enough friends who like Trek, so this is always nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play with computerized dinosaurs for a while until the girls get up. So, guys, thanks for joining me. everyone, thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves. We love you, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
If you disagree with me, you're probably really dumb. That's the song tonight.